Hello and welcome to the SJW regime's 2 minutes of hate with your favorite crusty parasite host, Hippie Hyena. Today we're going to be talking about streamer Brittany Venti, and she seems to have her panties in a bunch around Twitch's hiring practices.
I'm talking about the infamous Twitch streamer trans person who people are calling like the Dear Twitch staff is what the title they've gotten, but they're actually a Twitch ambassador, and you can actually find this description of them. They have ties to the ADL. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you know like the way that they speak and how they were saying that well, you guys will see the clip in a minute, but that gamers are, a lot of them are white supremacists. Like with how they talk, I knew something was up. My guess was that they were part of Antifa, but it turns out they have ADL ties.
Ooh, spooky. She's part of the Anti-Defamation League. Or at least has ties to it. An organisation which is there to prevent anti-Semitism. So kind of interesting that certain people have a problem with the people that fight anti-Semitism. Sort of implying that they may, well, I couldn't possibly speculate. Oh, and I probably should include one of these, right?
The Safety Advisory Council will inform and guide decisions made at Twitch by contributing their experience, expertise, and belief in Twitch's mission of empowering communities to create together. The council will advise on a number of topics, including drafting new policies and policy updates, protecting the interests of marginalized groups. So anyone but white people? Is that what that means? Anyone but white men gets protection? That doesn't seem very fair. I think everyone should have their interests protected.
So here we have the double whammy! The double whammy of first, assuming that anything that helps a marginalised group automatically could be considered some kind of prejudice against a non-marginalised group, and also a fundamental misunderstanding of what the word marginalised means. The reason they need help is because they're marginalised. If they're not marginalised, that means they don't need help. You know, I'm just so sick of help being given to people who need help. I'd much rather it was allocated equally between people who need help and people who don't.
So basically, the Safety Advisory Council influences policies and drafts new policy and policy updates, is what it says. And that is the Dear Twitch staff person. That's how everyone's regarding them. That's what their position is. They can't actually change the rules, but they do have an influence and can draft policies. So they're not final, they're not published, but they're drafting them.
Alright then, nothing to worry about then. Cool. Let's leave the video off there, yeah?
Let's go over that person's accomplishments. What did they do to qualify being a Twitch Safety Advisory Council?
Well, I'd probably guess that as it's been designed to help out marginalised groups, and they're clearly part of a marginalised group, all you'd need is that they have spoken out in favour of that marginalised group and as a sort of spokesperson for it, and that would be all the qualifications you'd really need for that job, right? I mean, that's literally what the job is. So I'm being optimistic, and I'm hoping that Brittany will see this and realise that she's made a horrible mistake and this girl deserves a place on this board. We can clear this all up very quickly. So all we're looking for here is a time when she's been a spokesperson for the marginalised group of which she is a part.
This is what they accomplish and what makes them qualified to be in that position. This is from their own Twitch profile, okay? Accomplishments. Created the first trans pride flag on Twitch platform in 2016.
Well, there you go. Sorted. It's obvious why she got the job then. And obviously, and deserves to be there. What are we going to do for the rest of the video? I don't know, let's get back into it.
I'm sorry guys, I shouldn't have spoken out. They're much more accomplished than I. They drew colors in lines.
Now, it's just a shot in the dark here, but it sort of sounds like you're a bit bitter about it. Like you sort of wish you'd been put on some kind of advisory council. I think usually you don't get to be put on advisory councils to protect marginalised groups if you don't know what a marginalised group even is, or what the word means. Usually, you have to have some kind of understanding of the sociology of it. Usually, your hot takes have to be a bit more nuanced than just saying at people who you find a bit strange. It's not sort of widely accepted as a badge of authority in any particular field, I'm afraid. So,
Made Femme Ferocity, an initiative team for female empowerment and heroes of the storm. What does that mean? Like, do they just like turn to each other and pat themselves on the back and go, good job! Good job on being a woman! Woo! And they just do that in between every round? Or like, they use all these buzzwords, but do you guys ever stop to actually ask what the fuck does it mean?
oh yeah, there's really difficult buzzwords that, people just don't know what they mean. I think, Brittany, you don't know what they mean. Meaning, you don't know what any of this means. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Self-admittedly so. At least have the gall to pretend you know what you're talking about. It's embarrassing.
Like, what does it mean? And that's kind of weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they're trans and they're the ones that make the female empowerment. I don't know. I feel like... I'm not trying to be transphobic, but I feel like that's kind of weird.
Why? Why is that weird? They're a female. Oh, come on, Brittany, you're not one of these biological essentialists, are you? You might as well be a fucking flat earther.
Maybe they should create a trans empowerment team in Heroes of the Storm. You know what I mean? Create and organize a social justice... literally, this person's a social justice warrior. Created and organized social justice related campaign against the inclusion of voice chat to Heroes of the Storm. So they said that there should be more pings in a game. Like literally a button that goes ding in the game. Wow, let's give them a round of applause. Biochemistry graduate. Keynote speaker at TwitchCon 2017 on moderation. But you could put that there, it just makes it sound like a little bit like a resume. So yeah, that's what they have to brag about.
So basically pretty much exactly what you'd want out of a person to be on a board for protecting marginalised groups.
No, this is what they do on stream. They LARP like a deer. I'm gonna be honest, if I were partnered on Twitch right now, I wouldn't feel safe. Raise your hand in chat, for those of you who go on Twitch, raise your hand in chat if you feel less safe now that Ferociously Steph is part of the safety council on Twitch.
Imagine being so fragile that this is the face of the enemy. The face of the enemy has finally been revealed. She's coming for our way of life. She's coming for our Twitch stream. She's going to destroy everything good and pure and cisgendered about this world. Look on this face, the face of evil.
Marginalized means that if you're a white male, you don't count. They're dehumanizing you. And humanizing anyone who is more ethnic than you.
Strange choice of words there, Brittany. Humanizing ethnic groups. Usually, humans don't need to be humanized. So it sort of sounds like, now correct me if I'm wrong, but it sort of sounds like you're implying that these marginalized groups aren't human, that they're in some way subhuman.
I don't know, that's how I would feel too. If I were a Twitch streamer, I would feel less safe with this person.
Start and come back.
Like, tell me this wouldn't turn a furry on. This is erotic.
I'm gonna be honest, Brittany, I have literally no interest at all in what you find erotic. I'd rather you kept that off your stream, thanks, if it's all the same.
So what I'm gonna show you guys next is the infamous clip that got this all started, like why everyone was outraged. And then it left to kind of like a spiral of just like people digging and finding more and more and more stuff that was just vile. like we just witnessed. So this is the clip.
Oh God, what was this? What was this heinous crime that she did then? I'm guessing, maybe it was something like she said the N-word on a live stream like PewDiePie, or maybe she brought up the Jewish question, or maybe she defended paedophilia like Milo Yiannopoulos. Well, that's only one way to find out. Let's watch the clip.
No, I'm just not cool with white supremacy, y'all. It's really not that. I think a lot of you gamers are actually white supremacists. Sorry. Just a fact of how I feel.
Oh no! She committed that most heinous of crimes, picking on the most marginalised group possible, the white nationalists. However will we find it in our hearts to forgive her?